Part 1. The Echoes of Vortex Ridge. It all began at the edge of nowhere, where the universe seemed to hold its breath. Vortex Ridge, a swirling nebula of gas and dust, punctuated by the sharpness of rogue asteroids and the quiet sobbing of distant stars. I had just stepped onto the bridge of the Ulysses, a ship far older than my grandfather's tales, yet still stubbornly alive, like a grizzled old captain refusing retirement, a freighter by design, but in spirit, a pirate's dream. Captain Jenkins, the communicator buzzed with a crackle. The cargo is secure. We're set to breach the ridge. Thanks, Blythe, I replied, my eyes tracing the countless scars across the console, each a testament to some past misadventure. I settled into my chair, feeling its leather mold around me like a long-lost lover. "Let's dance with the devil," I muttered, feeling the engines hum beneath us, a reassuring purr amidst the galaxy's roar. The ridge's pull was stronger than I anticipated, its gravitic anomalies tugging at the ship with the insistence of a child's hand. Each maneuver had to be precise, each calculation flawless. One mistake, and we'd become just another ghost story for cosmic travelers. "Captain, an unknown craft on our 6, called Blythe, her voice a mix of caution and intrigue. I leaned forward, squinting at the display as if sheer will could resolve the ambiguous signals. The ship was unlike anything I'd seen, sleek, shadowed, and clutching the ridge's mist like a spectral bird. "Open a channel," I commanded. Static filled the void before an unexpected melodic voice cut through. "Travelers of Vortex Ridge, your journey is noted. State your purpose, or be rendered to stardust." The voice was alien, not just in language but in cadence and tone, a symphony of sounds beyond human comprehension. I hesitated, then answered, "We seek passage to the heart of the ridge. Our purpose is commercial," I added with less conviction than I intended. It was the truth mostly. We were smugglers, yes, but not without honor. The screen flickered, and a face appeared, or at least I assumed it was a face, a twisting amalgamation of colors and forms, constantly shifting like a lava lamp of sentience. "We are the Vilosh," the being intoned, its face rippling with what I hoped was curiosity. "You may proceed, but beware, the ridge reveals all secrets." "Noted," I replied, matching its gravitas with a nod that felt woefully inadequate. The ship slipped deeper into the ridge, the vast swirls of iridescent gas licking at our hull like vibrant flames. The journey was intoxicating in its beauty, yet fraught with undercurrents of dread. Blythe joined me at the helm, a silent partner in shared unease. "Do you think the stories are true?" she whispered, her eyes reflecting the nebula's glow. "About the ridge?" I shrugged, trying to feign nonchalance. "Who knows? Could just be a lot of space gas mixed with fear." We laughed, a small, brief thing that broke the tension like sunlight through storm clouds. But beneath that momentary levity, my mind churned with possibilities. What secrets could the ridge hold that would interest such a peculiar guardian as the Vilosh? It wasn't long before the answer presented itself. A massive silhouette emerging from the nebula, an ancient space station, hanging in the void with the grace of a forgotten deity. Its architecture was a tapestry of intersecting arcs and spirals, each structure humming with a resonance I could feel in my bones. "By the void," Blythe breathed, and I couldn't agree more. This was no human creation. It was something else, grander and more terrifying than I could have imagined. "Prepare for docking procedures," I instructed gravely, feeling the weight of history pressing on us from all sides. The station loomed ever closer, a silent promise of revelations to come. Yet, As we approached, a tremor of doubt gnawed at the edges of my resolve. How far would we go for the promise of answers? The docking clamps engaged with a mechanical thud, and I couldn't shake the feeling that we were trespassing. "Welcome, Ulysses," the Vilash voice returned, echoing in the ship's every corner. "May your discoveries be enlightening." I stood at the airlock, my heart pounding. This was why we ventured into the unknown, wasn't it? For the thrill, the mystery, the chance to stand where no human had stood before. I took a breath, and the door cycled open with a hiss, revealing the darkened corridors of the station beyond. The air was metallic, dense with the scent of age and forgotten memories. As we stepped onto the ancient deck, the floor vibrated beneath our feet, a low, thrumming heartbeat that seemed to pulse with the station itself. "I don't like this," Blythe murmured, her eyes scanning the shadows. "Feels like walking into a tomb." "You're not wrong," I conceded, my voice barely above a whisper. Still, something compelled us forward, deeper into the labyrinthine halls. Strange symbols adorned the walls, glowing faintly as if to guide us toward some cosmic truth. That's when we heard it, a sound like distant laughter, echoing off the metal walls. It was a chilling melody that wrapped around our senses, drawing us in, even as it set every fiber of my being on edge. We followed the sound, our footsteps the only other noise in that cavernous void. The station was alive with secrets, each corner promising danger or enlightenment. Then, abruptly, we found it, a central chamber dominated by a massive orb of swirling energy. It pulsated with a light that shifted through colors indescribable to the human eye. The orb was entrancing, a microcosm of the universe's mysteries trapped in a fragile sphere. The laughter, yes, it was laughter now, unmistakable, echoed again, and the orb flared brightly. I stepped forward, drawn by an irrational need to touch it, to connect with whatever intelligence lay within. "Jenkins, wait!" Blythe's voice cut through my trance, pulling me back to reality. I hesitated, the orb's light bathing my outstretched hand in its glow. "I'm okay," I said, trying to convince myself as much as Blythe. But was I? My heart raced with both fear and exhilaration. It was as if the orb held the answers to questions I hadn't even thought to ask. "Welcome, Seeker," the laughter spoke, coalescing into words that vibrated through the air. "The truths you seek are within your grasp, but every choice has a cost." Blythe reached my side, her expression a mix of wonder and apprehension. "What do you think it means?" she asked softly, her gaze fixed on the orb. "I don't know," I replied honestly, my mind a whirlwind of possibilities. "But I intend to find out." In that moment, amid the swirling energies and cosmic riddles, I realized the path we had chosen was one of no return. Whatever the ridge and its secrets held, we were now part of its story, a narrative that promised both enlightenment and peril. And as the orb's light enveloped us, I felt a strange sense of belonging. We were part of something vast and unknowable, a galaxy-spanning tapestry where every thread, every choice, would weave our fate. This was the beginning, and for better or worse, there was no turning back. Part 2. The Heart of the Labyrinth. The orb's light engulfed us as if we were stepping into a living dream, casting shadows that danced with enigmatic grace across the chamber's walls. As though reading our thoughts, the glowing sphere pulsed in response to each of our hesitant movements. I felt a strange kinship with it, an awareness that bridged the chasm between flesh and cosmic phenomena. Blythe was the first to speak, her voice a whisper of awe. "It's like we're inside a star," she breathed, reaching out as if to catch the light in her hands. I nodded, unable to find words that could capture the wonder and surreal reality we now inhabited. This was more than we had signed up for, more than we had imagined. The orb responded with a surge of energy that rippled outward, revealing hidden passages that branched from the chamber like arteries from a heart. Each one beckoned with promises of discovery and danger, a corridor of fate we could not ignore. But where to begin? That was the question that gnawed at me, even as the Velosh voice resonated in my mind with its cryptic allure. "Each path is a journey," it whispered, drawing me deeper into this intricate web of choices. "Jenkins, look!" Blythe's sudden exclamation pulled me from my reverie. I turned to see what had captured her attention, my heart skipping a beat. One of the passageways shimmered with an intensity that set it apart from the others, its entrance framed by symbols that pulsed with a rhythm I recognized instinctively. They seemed to match the beat of my own heart. "We have to see what's down there," Blythe urged, her eyes wide with the kind of reckless curiosity that was both infectious and terrifying. It was the same look she had when we first took on the job to breach the ridge, a look that promised adventure no matter the cost. "Are you with me?" I hesitated, the weight of the decision palpable. Every instinct screamed caution, yet something deeper, more primal, pulled me forward. "Let's find out what's behind door number 1. I said with a nervous grin, masking my apprehension with humor. Together, we stepped through the gateway, and the world around us transformed. The passage was narrow, lined with panels that glowed under our touch, responding to our presence like a living organism. Each step brought us closer to the heartbeat of the station, an unseen rhythm that surged through the walls and floors. It felt as though the station itself was guiding us, its design a testament to a civilization far beyond our comprehension. "Do you ever wonder if we're the first to set foot here?" Blythe asked, her voice tinged with both excitement and fear. "Given the lack of skeletons, I'd say we might be," I replied, trying to keep the mood light despite the tension coiling in my gut. Yet, there was an undeniable truth in her words. The air around us was heavy with anticipation, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath, waiting to reveal their secrets. At the end of the corridor, we found what could only be described as a control room. In the center, a massive console rose from the floor, its surface a swirling mosaic of light and motion. As we approached, the console activated, displaying a three-dimensional map of the station that filled the room with a kaleidoscope of colors. "Welcome to the heart," the Velosh intoned, its voice a melodic current that flowed through the chamber. "Here lies the core, the source of the station's power and purpose." Blythe moved to the console, her fingers brushing over the holographic controls. "This is incredible," she said, eyes wide with wonder. "It's like it's alive." "Alive and more," I added, feeling the thrumming energy pulse beneath us. The map displayed not just the station, but also the surrounding nebula, highlighting regions of interest and danger with an intelligence that seemed to anticipate our needs. As Blythe continued to explore the console's capabilities, I noticed something odd, a section of the map that flickered in and out of focus, as though trying to conceal a secret. My curiosity piqued. I reached out, and the console responded with a sudden burst of information. "What did you do?" Blythe asked, her voice tinged with both alarm and intrigue. "Not sure," I admitted, "but I think I found something." The display zoomed in on a specific location within the station, revealing a chamber marked with symbols we hadn't seen before, glowing with an intensity that suggested importance. "The Chamber of Echoes," the Vilash voice returned, its tone shifting to one of solemn reverence. "It is the source of the station's knowledge, but be warned, it holds truths that may not be to your liking." Blythe and I exchanged glances, the weight of the Vilash's warning settling between us. "We came this far," I said, feeling the gravity of our decision. "We can't turn back now." She nodded, her expression resolute. "Let's see what the chamber has to say." Together, we set off once more, guided by the station's map as it revealed a path through the labyrinthine corridors. With each step, I felt the pull of destiny grow stronger, the unseen force of the ridge itself propelling us toward whatever lay ahead. The journey was fraught with challenges, sections where the station's ancient machinery had faltered, forcing us to navigate by instinct and intuition. Yet, with each obstacle overcome, our sense of purpose only deepened, a shared determination that burned brighter than the stars outside. At last, we arrived at the chamber, its entrance marked by a formidable door that loomed like a gateway to another world. As we approached, the door slid open with a sound like a sigh, revealing a room bathed in a gentle, welcoming light. Inside, the chamber was both vast and intimate, its walls adorned with intricate patterns that shifted and flowed like the currents of time. At the center stood an altar of sorts, its surface alive with symbols that danced and flickered like fireflies. "Seeker of truths," the Vilash voice echoed once more, resonating from within the walls themselves. "You stand at the threshold of knowledge. Here, your journey finds its purpose." I stepped forward, my heart pounding with anticipation and dread. This was it, the moment we had risked everything to reach. The answers lay within reach, but the price of knowing was a tide that surged ever closer. As I placed my hand upon the altar, a flood of images and sensations coursed through me, a tapestry of memories spanning eons, woven by countless lives and civilizations. It was overwhelming, intoxicating, and for a moment I was lost within the echoes of the past. But then, a singular truth emerged from the maelstrom, a revelation that shook me to my core. I staggered back, the weight of the knowledge a tangible force that threatened to crush me beneath its enormity. Blythe caught me, her eyes full of concern. "What is it?" she asked, steadying me with the strength of our shared bond. "The ridge," I gasped, the words heavy on my tongue. "It's alive, and it's dying. The station is its heart, and we're the only ones who can save it." This was our purpose, the reason we had been drawn to the ridge. Not just to uncover its secrets, but to ensure its survival. The stakes had never been higher, and the decision lay before us like an open wound. We stood at the brink of the unknown, our choice looming like a storm on the horizon. The path was fraught with peril, yet also with the promise of redemption. And as we prepared to face whatever awaited us, I knew we would do so not as conquerors, but as guardians of a universe that had entrusted us with its most precious secret. The ridge was calling, and for better or worse, we were ready to answer. Part 3, Guardian's Gambit. As the revelation settled over us like the hush before a storm, the chamber's light intensified, swirling around us with a sense of urgency. The ridge itself seemed to reach out, its unseen tendrils entwining with my thoughts. It was alive, a sentient nexus that pulsed with the lifeblood of stars and shadows, and it was pleading for salvation. Blythe, ever perceptive, watched me intently. "So we're not just explorers anymore," she said with a half-smile that betrayed the weight of our newfound responsibility. "We're caretakers." "Guardians, more like," I replied, trying to match her resolve. Yet beneath my bravado lay a maelstrom of fear and uncertainty. How does one save a living nebula, a cosmic entity that defied comprehension? With the chamber thrumming around us, I knew we could not linger. The answers we sought were beyond this room, scattered across the station and the ridge itself. "We need to find a way to stabilize the station," I said decisively, my mind racing with possibilities. "The heart of the ridge depends on it." Blythe nodded, her determination bolstering my own. "Then we better get to it," she said, a fierce light in her eyes. "Time's not waiting for us." We retraced our steps through the labyrinthine corridors, the station's energy guiding us like an unspoken promise. Its halls were no longer silent. They resonated with a symphony of whispers and echoes, urging us onward. I wondered if the Velosh were watching, their enigmatic presence woven into the fabric of the ridge. Allies, or merely spectators in this unfolding drama? Our path led us to a vast chamber filled with a latticework of ancient machines, their forms both alien and familiar. Here, the technology of the ridge intertwined with something distinctly human, the remnants of a past alliance that had weathered the eons. "Blythe, look at this!" I called, my voice echoing across the metallic expanse. Before us stood a control panel, its surface aglow with data streams that flowed like rivers of light. It was a confluence of knowledge and design, a bridge between civilizations. She joined me, her eyes widening as she absorbed the implications. "This must be the stabilization system," she remarked, tracing her fingers across the controls. "We can use it to reinforce the station's integrity." "And patch into the ridge itself," I added, my pulse quickening with the promise of action. "If we can amplify the energy output, we might just be able to stabilize the whole structure." We worked in tandem, our movements precise and intuitive. Each command was a step closer to redemption, each keystroke a lifeline cast into the churning depths of the cosmic sea. The machinery responded to our efforts, its song rising to a crescendo that reverberated through the station's bones. But just as hope kindled within us, a shudder passed through the floor, reverberating like a distant earthquake. A warning flashed on the console, its symbols sharp and insistent. The ridge was reacting, its balance teetering on the edge of catastrophe. "What have we done?" Blythe murmured, her voice a thread of fear woven into the fabric of resolve. "We need to stabilize it now." "You're right," I agreed, my hands flying over the controls in a desperate ballet of logic and instinct. "Let's give this everything we've got." With each adjustment, the station fought back against the chaos, its systems pushing against the tide of entropy. The energy coursed through the structure, a lifeline infused with the will of sentient stars. The ridge trembled, and the universe seemed to hold its breath in anticipation. Suddenly, a new presence filled the room. A shimmer of light and form that coalesced into the shape of the Velosh. Their manifestation was ethereal, a tapestry of colors and sounds that defied description. "Guardians of the Ridge," they intoned, their voice resonating with solemnity. "The heart responds to your sacrifice, but the path is fraught with peril. You must venture deeper to the forging grounds of stars." "The forging grounds?" Blythe echoed, her voice laced with equal parts wonder and skepticism. "What does that mean?" "The core essence of the ridge," the Velosh explained, their form shifting with every word. "It lies at the heart of creation and destruction. Only by understanding its nature can you hope to heal what is fractured." An unspoken understanding passed between us, a shared acceptance of the challenge and the promise it held. "We'll go," I declared, my resolve as firm as the stars above. "We'll do whatever it takes." The Velosh shimmered with approval, their presence a guiding light in the encroaching darkness. "Then go forth, guardians," they urged. "The forging grounds await your courage and wisdom. Trust in the stars and in each other." With their blessing we departed the chamber, our path illuminated by the knowledge we had gained. The ridge itself seemed to pulse with newfound energy, its essence entwined with our mission. We were no longer mere travelers. We were part of something greater, a cosmic dance that wove life and death into a tapestry of infinite complexity. As we ventured deeper, the station transformed around us, its architecture folding and shifting like a living organism. The corridors grew narrower, the air pregnant with expectation. It was as if the ridge was testing us, challenging our resolve with each step. The forging grounds lay beyond a massive gateway, its surface inscribed with runes that shimmered with the light of millennia. As we approached, the door opened with a sound like celestial music, revealing the heart of the ridge itself. Inside, a vast chamber stretched before us, its floor an ocean of swirling energy, its ceiling a sky of distant stars. It was a place of creation and destruction, a crucible where the universe's secrets were born and died. We stood at the threshold, the weight of our mission hanging in the balance. The ridge had brought us to this place, trusting us with its very soul. "Ready?" Blythe asked, her voice steady despite the enormity of the task ahead. "As I'll ever be," I replied, my heart a drumbeat of determination. Together, we stepped into the forging grounds, the energy enveloping us in a warm embrace. Here, the boundaries between reality and imagination blurred, and we became one with the cosmos. Our actions rippled outward, shaping the fate of the ridge and the stars beyond. We had become guardians, protectors of a legacy older than time itself. The ridge was alive, its heart beating in time with ours as we worked to heal its wounds, and in that moment, amidst the chaos and beauty, I knew we had found our place in the universe. We were home. Part 4. Celestial Harmonies. The forging grounds enveloped us in an incandescent glow, the air thick with the omnipresent hum of cosmic energies. We stood on the precipice of creation, where the fabric of reality stretched thin, allowing glimpses into the raw power that underpinned the universe. Blythe and I exchanged a glance, our connection more tangible than the air itself, united in purpose. The sheer scale of the chamber was dizzying. Energy arced like electrified rivers above and below, dancing with a symphony of colors that defied earthly description. We were intruders here, amidst the heartbeat of the galaxy, yet we were also its caretakers, a role thrust upon us with the full weight of cosmic expectation. "We need to find the core stabilizer," Blythe said, her voice barely breaking through the thrumming atmosphere. "It's the only way to balance the ridge's energy flows." Nodding, I scanned the expanse, seeking a focal point amid the chaos. It was then that I noticed a structure on the far side of the chamber, a nexus of light and shadow pulsating with an ancient rhythm. It beckoned to us like a beacon in the storm. Though our path was precarious, requiring us to navigate narrow walkways suspended over the swirling energy below. Each step was a leap of faith, each heartbeat a drumroll of tension. But with every stride, the nexus grew closer, its promise of salvation an ever-present lure. As we approached, the structure revealed itself to be a complex array of crystalline formations, each one resonating with a frequency that sang to the very essence of the ridge. It was a masterpiece of organic engineering, a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient beings who had crafted this wondrous place. "Incredible," Blythe murmured, her eyes wide with awe. "It's like a symphony in physical form." "It is," I agreed, feeling the resonance vibrate through my bones. "And we're the conductors now." Together, we approached the central crystal, our movements synchronized with the rhythmic pulse that echoed through the chamber. The air crackled with energy, a tangible reminder of the power we sought to harness. As we reached the nexus, the crystals responded to our presence, their surfaces shifting and rearranging to form a control interface. The design was intricate, its complexity rivaling the most advanced human technologies, yet it felt intuitive, as if it had been crafted with our minds in mind. "Let's do this," Blythe said, her focus unwavering as she reached out to the controls. "We'll stabilize the core and bring harmony to the ridge." I joined her, my hands gliding over the crystal interface, each touch a note in the symphony of the universe. Together, we orchestrated the energy flows, weaving them into a cohesive whole. The chamber responded, the chaotic energies coalescing into a harmonious dance that enveloped us in its embrace. The ridge resonated with our efforts, its pulse aligning with our own as we worked in concert. It was a delicate balance, a precarious equilibrium that required every ounce of our concentration. The stakes were higher than they had ever been, yet in this moment, we were more than just individuals. We were the guardians of a living galaxy. But just as the symphony reached its crescendo, a tremor shook the chamber, a discordant note in the celestial harmony that reverberated through my soul. The core stabilizer flickered, its rhythm faltering as an unseen force threatened to unravel all we had achieved. "Something's wrong," Blythe exclaimed, her eyes darting over the controls. "The balance is shifting. We need to find the source of the disruption." Panic threatened to overtake me, but I pushed it aside, focusing on the task at hand. "We can't let it fall apart," I said, my voice firm with determination. "We have to hold it together." Together, we scanned the interface, searching for the anomaly that had thrown the system into disarray. The crystals hummed with urgency, their song a tapestry of warnings and possibilities. At last, we found it. A fracture in the energy matrix, a chink in the armor of the ridge's defenses. It was a small thing, nearly invisible amidst the vast complexity, yet its impact was profound. A ripple that threatened to shatter the harmony we had fought so hard to create. There, Blythe pointed, her finger tracing the path of the disruption. If we focus the energy flow here, we might be able to seal the breach. Let's do it, I replied, my hands moving instinctively over the controls. With each adjustment, we redirected the energy, weaving it into a lattice that mended the fracture and restored the balance. The chamber pulsed with renewed strength, the symphony rising to a triumphant crescendo that echoed through the ridge. It was a moment of pure exhilaration, a culmination of our efforts and our bond. But as the harmony settled into a steady rhythm, I felt a new presence, a subtle yet undeniable force that watched and waited. The ridge had welcomed us, but now it demanded more. Guardians, the Velosh voice returned, resonating through the chamber with an authority that commanded attention. You have restored the balance, yet the path is not complete. The ridge seeks unity, a convergence of all things, a resolution to the cycle of creation and decay. What must we do, I asked, my voice barely a whisper against the cosmic hum. Seek the convergence point, the Velosh instructed, their voice a melody of guidance and promise. There, you will find the key to unlocking the universe's true potential, a harmony that spans the stars. The challenge lay before us, a beacon of hope amidst the delicate dance of celestial harmonies. As we prepared to embrace the next stage of our journey, I felt a profound sense of purpose, a calling that transcended the boundaries of space and time. Blythe and I stood together, the guardians of a universe filled with infinite possibilities, our hearts beating in unison with the ridge itself. This was our mission, our destiny, and we would face it together, come what may. With renewed resolve, we set forth, ready to discover the true nature of the convergence point and the secrets it held. The journey continued, and with it the promise of a harmony that could rewrite the very fabric of the cosmos. Together we would find the convergence point, guided by the stars and the whispers of the ridge. The universe awaited, and we were ready. Part 5. The Convergence. The path to the convergence point was unlike anything we had traversed before, an ever-shifting corridor woven from the fabric of light and shadow. The ridge, now a living entity in its own right, guided us with a gentle nudge of gravitational currents and the whisper of cosmic winds. Blythe and I moved through this ethereal passage, awestruck and humbled by the sheer magnitude of the journey we were undertaking. Each step resonated through the corridor, a harmonious echo that blended with the song of the universe itself. How do you think we'll know when we get there? Blythe mused, her eyes tracing the shifting patterns along the walls. Maybe it'll just feel right, I suggested, hoping the words held more than mere optimism. When we're in harmony with everything around us. As if in response, a gentle breeze stirred the luminous strands of the corridor, guiding us towards a distant glow that pulsed with an unearthly cadence. It beckoned us forward, a lighthouse in the vast sea of stars. We continued, the glow growing brighter until we stepped into a vast expanse, where the boundaries between dimensions seemed to dissolve. Before us lay the convergence point, a nexus of energies where the threads of time and space wove together in a tapestry of breathtaking complexity. The center of the convergence was dominated by a swirling vortex of light, its colors shifting and blending into hues I could scarcely comprehend. It was a dance of creation and dissolution, a constant cycle of beginnings and endings that mirrored the heart of the universe itself. "It's beautiful," Blythe whispered, her voice barely audible over the melodic hum that filled the space. "It's like we're standing at the edge of eternity." I nodded, my heart swelling with a mix of awe and determination. "This is it," I said, feeling a deep connection with the energies that surrounded us, the place where everything starts and ends. The Velosh presence emerged once more, a tapestry of light and sound that resonated in harmonious accord with the convergence. "Guardians, the moment of reckoning is upon you," they intoned, their voice a chorus of wisdom and promise. "The convergence is a test of unity, a challenge to align your essence with the heartbeat of the cosmos. Through understanding, you shall find harmony." Blythe and I exchanged a look, the weight of the task ahead settling over us like a cloak. "So, what do we do?" she asked, her eyes locked onto the swirling vortex. "We become part of it," I replied, feeling the truth of the words resonating through me. "We connect, open ourselves to the universe and each other." With renewed resolve, we stepped closer to the vortex, the energies pulling us in with a gentle yet irresistible force. The light wrapped around us, binding our hearts and minds to the cosmic dance that played out before us. For a moment, time seemed to stand still, our senses enveloped by a symphony of emotions and memories that transcended our individual experiences. I saw through Blythe's eyes, felt her hopes and fears, her dreams and doubts. In turn, she felt mine, our souls intertwining in a union as profound as it was enlightening. The convergence responded to our union, its energies growing more radiant, more harmonious. Together we delved deeper into the heart of the vortex, the boundaries between self and other dissolving in a wash of light and sound. We were no longer two separate entities, but a single force, a conduit of universal harmony. As we reached the heart of the vortex, a surge of understanding washed over us, a revelation that transcended language, a profound insight into the nature of life and existence. The universe was not a collection of isolated parts, but a symphony of interconnectedness, a web of relationships that span the cosmos. With this understanding came the realization of our purpose, our role as guardians of the ridge and the universe it cradled. We were more than individuals. We were the living embodiment of the convergence, the harmonizers of creation and destruction. The vortex pulsed with renewed brilliance, the energies aligning and resonating in perfect harmony. The ridge responded in kind, its essence vibrating with a symphony of life that echoed across the vast reaches of space. We had achieved what we had thought impossible, brought balance to the universe's heartbeat. The Velosh voice returned, a triumphant melody that wove through the fabric of our consciousness. "Guardians, you have succeeded where others have not." They sang, their gratitude a chorus that resonated through our souls. "You have become one with the cosmos, a beacon of unity amidst the stars." As the light of the vortex dimmed, the energies receding into a gentle glow, Blythe and I found ourselves standing at the center of the convergence point, our hearts still intertwined with the universe. We had completed our mission, our journey a testament to the power of connection and understanding. The ridge was safe, its future secure. And as we turned to leave, we knew that we carried with us a legacy of harmony that would resonate through the stars. Together, we stepped back into the corridor of light and shadow, our path illuminated by the knowledge that we were never alone. As guardians of the ridge, we had found our place in the universe, and with that came a profound sense of peace. The cosmos was our symphony, and our hearts beat in time with its eternal rhythm. We were home, and the journey was only beginning. Emerging from the corridor of light, Blythe and I found ourselves back on the Ulysses, the ship's familiar hum a comforting anchor in the aftermath of our cosmic journey. The ridge, now a harmonious resonance in our minds, seemed to pulse with gratitude, its energy wrapping around the vessel like a protective embrace. We stood in the ship's control room, the silence between us charged with the weight of all we had experienced. I looked at Blythe, her eyes reflecting the light of distant stars, and felt an overwhelming gratitude for her presence. "So, where do we go from here?" she asked, breaking the silence, her tone both light-hearted and sincere. I considered the question, my mind racing with possibilities. The universe, once an expanse of daunting unknowns, now felt like an open canvas, ready to be painted with our newfound understanding. "Perhaps it's time we start exploring on our own terms," I suggested, a smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. "We could uncover more secrets, mysteries just waiting to be solved." Blythe chuckled softly, her laughter a soothing balm to the intensity of the journey. "Adventurers for hire, solving cosmic puzzles across the galaxy?" she mused, her eyes dancing with a familiar spark of mischief. I could get behind that. We set to work, preparing the Ulysses for departure. The ridge had given us so much, knowledge, purpose, and a bond that transcended the physical. With each action, every calculated command, we felt the universe whispering its tacit approval, urging us onward into the vast unknown. As we powered up the ship's engines, a soft chime echoed through the chamber, a gentle reminder of the ridge's touch. I reached over to the console, activating a transmission from the Vilosh. Their presence filled the room, a spectral grandeur that transcended the boundaries of our understanding. "Guardians of the ridge," the Vilosh intoned, their voices a symphony of reverence and farewell. "The stars sing of your triumph, and the cosmos holds you in its embrace. May your paths be illuminated by the light of creation, your journeys woven into the fabric of the universe." "Thank you," I replied, my voice filled with genuine appreciation. "For everything." The transmission faded, leaving us with a quiet sense of resolve and a burgeoning anticipation for what lay ahead. "Ready to make some new ripples in the cosmic pond?" I asked, glancing at Blythe with a grin. "Let's do it," she replied, her hands flying over the controls with practiced ease. The Ulysses shuddered, engines roaring to life, as we set a course toward the edge of Vortex Ridge, where stars beckoned like distant dreams. As the ship gained momentum, the ridge's familiar hues began to fade, replaced by the deep, endless tapestry of space stretching before us. We were leaving a piece of our souls behind, entwined with the cosmic symphony that had shaped our destiny. Yet with every passing light year, we carried forward the hope and unity that the ridge had gifted us. Blythe leaned back in her seat, a satisfied sigh escaping her lips. "You know, after all of this, I think we've become more than just travelers," she said, her tone contemplative. We're part of something bigger now. It's humbling. I nodded, feeling the truth of her words resonate within me. Yeah, I agreed. It's like we belong to the stars now. And wasn't that the ultimate freedom? To be unburdened by the constraints of one world, to forge connections across the cosmos, guided by the light of understanding and the harmony of all things. Our journey had transformed us in ways we could never have imagined, and as we ventured into the unknown, I felt a sense of peace and purpose that transcended our physical forms. The universe was vast, its mysteries unfolding like the pages of an infinite story, waiting for us to write our part. We were ready to answer the call, to explore the uncharted, to bring light to the shadows lurking at the edge of perception. Together, Blythe and I would navigate the stars, our hearts aligned with the music of the cosmos, our spirits forever entwined with the essence of the ridge. As the Ulysses soared through the starlit expanse, I leaned back, closing my eyes and letting the gentle hum of the ship lull me into reflection. The future stretched ahead, a beacon of potential and promise, and with Blythe by my side, I knew there was no adventure too great, no mystery too deep. The universe awaited, and we were more than ready to meet it on our own terms. As guardians, explorers, and dreamers, we were bound to the stars, and the journey was just beginning. Break time. As we ventured further from the ridge, the Ulysses settled into a gentle glide, its course set towards the fabled Andromeda expanse, a place whispered about in the cargo holds of countless freighters. It promised untold wonders and dangers in equal measure, a perfect starting point for a new chapter in our journey. Blythe stood at the helm, her fingers dancing across the console with an ease that belied the complexity of our course. The stars outside the viewport blazed with a brilliance that suggested stories yet untold, waiting to be etched into the annals of spacefaring legend. "Do you hear that?" Blythe asked suddenly, her head tilting slightly as if catching the strains of a distant melody. I listened intently, the silence of the void interrupted only by the steady hum of the ship's systems. Then, just at the edge of perception, I caught it, a faint, almost imperceptible sound, like the echo of a song carried on the solar winds. "What do you think it is?" I wondered aloud, the mystery tugging at my curiosity like a child pulling at a sleeve. "A signal, maybe? Or an artifact of some kind?" Blythe's eyes sparkled with intrigue. "Only one way to find out," she replied, adjusting the ship's sensors to isolate the frequency. The sound grew clearer, a haunting melody that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of space. It was beautiful and strange, a siren's call woven into the cosmic tapestry. "It's coming from a nearby system," Blythe observed, her voice tinged with excitement. "Just a hop from here. We could check it out. See where the music leads." I grinned, the prospect of a new mystery reigniting the fire of adventure in my veins. "Let's follow the tune," I said, and with a swift recalibration, the Ulysses veered towards the unknown melody's source, cutting through the darkness with purpose. As we approached the system, the music swelled, enveloping the ship in its ethereal embrace. It guided us like a celestial compass, leading us past lonely asteroids and swirling nebulas, each one a waypoint in a journey dictated by the stars themselves. Our destination emerged from the shadows, a cluster of crystalline structures suspended in the void, shimmering with an inner light that pulsed in harmony with the melody. It was a sight that defied logic and gravity, an architectural marvel that seemed to float atop the music itself. "What is this place?" Blythe breathed, her eyes wide with wonder as we brought the Ulysses to a halt, hovering just outside the crystalline formation. "I don't know," I replied, my voice hushed with reverence, "but I think we've found the source of our song." We suited up, the thrill of exploration overshadowing any lingering caution. As the airlock cycled open, we stepped out into the stillness of space, the music enveloping us entirely, each note a caress of sound in the vacuum. The crystalline structures were larger than they appeared from the cockpit, immense and impossibly delicate, as if crafted from the very essence of cosmic light. We drifted closer, our movements synchronized with the melodic pulse that guided our every step. Within the formation, we discovered an entrance, an opening that beckoned us inside with the promise of secrets and revelations. It was a doorway to the unknown, an invitation to unravel the mysteries of the universe. As we entered, the interior was alive with color and sound, the walls themselves pulsating with the music, as if the structure breathed in unison with the stars. It felt alive, a living entity that resonated with a consciousness beyond our comprehension. "This place," Blythe whispered, her voice a thread of wonder in the vastness. It's singing to us, Jenkins, telling us its story in a language of light and harmony." I nodded, feeling the truth of her words resonate within me. "It's like a library of the cosmos," I murmured, the realization settling over me like stardust. A repository of knowledge, communicating through its song. The melody intensified, guiding us deeper into the heart of the crystalline structure. As we moved, the music revealed glimpses of history and potential futures, a tapestry of events and possibilities woven into the structure's very fabric. "We need to understand it," Blythe said, the determination in her voice mirroring my own. "If we can decipher the melody, we could unlock the stories of entire civilizations." We set to work, our minds attuned to the rhythm of the universe as we sought to translate the cosmic song. It was a challenge, a puzzle of celestial proportions that required our full concentration and intuition. Yet with each note, each shift in the melody, we felt the crystalline structure opening itself to us, revealing its secrets like petals unfurling to the dawn. And as we delved deeper into the music, we realized that the melody was more than just a song. It was a map, a guide to the hidden wonders of the universe. Our journey had led us to this place, and with each revelation, we felt the bond between us grow stronger, our souls entwined with the stars and the stories they held. The universe was vast and filled with mysteries, but with Blythe by my side, I knew we were ready to explore them all. As guardians, as explorers, as students of the cosmic symphony, we would follow the music wherever it led, unraveling the secrets of the stars one note at a time. Together, we would write our own melody, a song that would echo through the ages and into the hearts of all who dared to listen.